This is not one of those clean with me videos where the house starts pristine. No, as you can see, there is real work to be done, a lot of it. And although we're concentrating around my country kitchen today, there is a whole variety of jobs that need doing. So whether you want some company in the background while you clean, let's go, we've got this, we'll do it together. Or if you're just here for a satisfying watch or a little bit of motivation, I can promise you that it's going to be a productive day. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get straight into it. So today the kitchen needs some attention because, I mean, do I even need to finish that sentence or do I just let it speak for itself? We've got mess, we've got clutter, we've got rubbish, we've got an urgent situation actually that we're going to get to in a moment. We've got several side quests. We've got a plot twist halfway through when things take a turn. But we've also got a special treat at the very end. So it's going to be a fun one. Another day, another heatwave clean. Today was so hot. I thought I would show you these little notes my husband left around because the heat drove him to working out the optimum airflow around the house based on which windows and doors needed to be kept open or closed to get the maximum amount of air flowing through, which I abided by and I appreciated because it was a challenging clean today. So hot. And my last clean with me, which was my first ever clean with me, was also a heatwave day. So there seems to be a pattern here. I think the pattern is probably that I leave it so late it becomes desperate and then it has to be done, heatwave or no heatwave. So as always, I like to start with a wash because that can be going on in the background while I get on with other things. And today my tea towels, my oven gloves, bits and bobs around the kitchen needed a wash. So I thought I would start with that. And while that's on, it's bin day tomorrow, or rather recycling day. So we need to get all of the recycling sorted out and organised into the boxes, ready to go. I'm quite relieved that today's finally the day, to be honest, because it's been building up so much. This is our cupboard that we keep the recycling in, and it was full to the brim and things were stacking up outside, and it's about to, yeah. So this isn't even the urgent situation that I was telling you about in the beginning. No, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. To be honest, of all of the jobs, I don't mind too much sorting out the recycling into the different categories. I think there's something kind of therapeutic about it because it's just quite methodical, isn't it? And then quite satisfying once you've done it all. So what I'm going to do with those is just take them outside for now, and I'm going to leave them outside the kitchen door. But later, at the end of the day, we need to remember to take them to the end of the drive. And that actually ends up being a really unexpectedly fun job. You'll see why at the very end. I also mentioned that I've got a treat lined up for us towards the end of the video. And that's because in my last Clean With Me video, I made myself laugh because I said something like, at the end of a long day of cleaning, I really like to put all of my cloths, my washcloths, into the washing machine to wash them, as if that was some sort of like special treat at the end at the end of a day's cleaning. So it got me thinking, actually, we do deserve a treat at the end of a day of cleaning. So today I've lined one up and I'm looking forward to it. I think you'll like it too. So we're doing pretty well so far. The recycling is done. The recycling cupboard is nice and clean. So what I'm going to do now is just a little mini vacuum just to get rid of any bits. And once I've done that, do you remember that urgent situation that I was telling you about? It's our compost bin. You can see it here. It's full and it's starting to get really disgusting, and I haven't emptied it because the compost heap is actually ready to go, as in it's compost now. I think it's been the hot weather has just suddenly turned it all into compost. So I couldn't empty the kitchen compost bin until I'd bagged all of this up. And it took me a really, really long time to do it. Again, in the heat. But how incredibly satisfying that after about 2 years of collecting all of the veg peels, all of the tea bags, eggshells, we now have compost that we can use on the garden. And I got so much. I think I got at least 10 of these white sacks full. But until I'd completely bagged up the heap, I needed a temporary solution because, like I said, this was desperate. Desperate to go outside. So I found an old bin and I just put a liner in that. And then I finally took the kitchen compost bin out, emptied it into the old bin, and then I'll finish digging up and bagging up the compost heap. And then when that's done, I'll just empty the old bin onto the compost heap and we'll start again. And in a year or two, we'll have another fresh load of compost that we can use on the garden. While I'm outside, I'm going to take this little bucket down to where the hose pipe is plugged into the outside tap, and I'm going to grab some soap and a scrubbing brush and just give it a really, really good scrub, ready to take back into the kitchen and start collecting all of the veg peels and the kitchen waste again. So I'm glad that that's done. And now it's time to address some of this clutter that has accumulated in the kitchen. This bag is full of 10,000 paint samples, so that can go down to the cellar. That's an easy win. And there's also a bag of Christmas decorations, and these need to go into the loft. So I'm very sheepishly doing the loft hatch. I avoid the loft, honestly, at all costs because it's full of spiders and cobwebs, and the hatch and the ladder, to be honest, needs a really good clean, but it's a braver woman than me that's going to do that, let me tell you. I'm going to interact with it as little as possible, shove my bag of Christmas decorations up there, and then get myself out. The Christmas decorations, by the way, I feel the need to explain because it's August. We're not left out from last Christmas or anything, but I recently decluttered our dresser. So I took them out of there and I want to keep them all together in the loft. This next bit's embarrassing. Like I said, I avoid the loft at all costs. So my husband, I usually send him up there. So I'm not that used to doing the loft hatch, and I could not for the life of me get it closed. I don't know why. I tried and tried to no avail. I really wanted to just get it closed and forget it exists, but what we're going to have to do instead is leave it and wait for my husband to come and do it. And in the meantime, we're just going to have to try and carry on with our lives and pretend that it's not at risk of raining spiders at any moment. This stack of dog food really needs to go away, but I thought twice, honestly, about exposing myself by showing you the pantry, because chaos reigns in there. There's no system of organisation. There is so much in there that just needs to be decluttered and sorted out and organised. But that's not a job for today. It's too big of a job. It's going to have to be another day, another video, I think. For now, we're just gonna close the door on it. Yeah, we're just gonna close the door on it. Meanwhile, the laundry is ready to hang out. Oh, I forgot my pegs. There we go. Let's go and get these hung up on the washing line to dry in the sunshine. And while I was out here, I was having a little look around. Please tell me I am not the only one whose garden has absolutely run away with them this year. Is it just me? Am I the only one that hasn't been able to keep on top of it? Here in the UK, we've had so many heat waves. I don't know whether it's actually been a record number of heat waves this year, but it feels like it. So we've had loads of sunshine, and then in between the heat waves, we've had like 2 weeks of solid rain. Although we are in drought at the moment. I think we had a first heat wave, really, really sunny, really, really hot. Then we had 2 weeks of solid rain, and everything just went absolutely insane in the garden. Everything just shot up. Weeds, I guess the plants as well. But then since then, we've had a couple of heat waves, and then it's been kind of slightly cooler in between, but hardly any rain. I think I can think of like 2, maybe 3 times it's rained in the last few weeks, which is absolutely bonkers. And everything's really suffering now. The grass is suffering. My poor hydrangeas are looking like they're on their last legs. To be honest, they're so wilted, and it's such a shame because it feels like they bloomed for a few weeks and then immediately we were hit with that heat wave and they never really recovered. So yeah, that's a shame. And meanwhile, everything else, all of the overgrowth and undergrowth and weeds and things, are just going absolutely bonkers, and I can't really keep up with them, to be honest. So apologies for the mess that you can see in this area around here. We're working on it. We're working on it. To be honest, living here, because we have moved to somewhere with such a big garden, we really didn't anticipate finding somewhere with quite this much land when we moved from a city flat with a tiny balcony. And that was quite a change and quite a learning curve. And it has been a couple of years now. So I thought we were getting on top of it, but clearly not. Clearly not. To be honest, there's a little bit of a sense of relief when the winter comes. And I don't want to wish the summer away. I'm not wishing the summer away. Definitely not. Because I love the summer, all the seasons. But in the winter, everything dies back, and there is a sense of like a reset, and you get like a second chance. So there's a sense of comfort in that, and a sense of hope. Maybe next year will be the year that we finally crack it. Anyway, let's head back inside because you won't believe what's waiting for us in the kitchen. It's worse. It's worse than when we started. No, this is actually after lunch now. We just had our lunch. I think, what did we have? Pasta salad. Very nice. And I'd also made a couple of quiches ready for dinner. So this is all of the aftermath from that needs to be tidied away now. When I'm faced with a big mess like this in the kitchen, I like to tidy it in like a systematic way. Right, so hear me out. So first of all, I'll do, well, the order doesn't really matter, but I'll pick something to start with. So I might pick like all of the rubbish that just needs to go in the bin, and I'll get rid of all of that. Then I will collect all of the things that can go in the recycling, and I'll put those in the recycling. Then I'll come back and I'll do all of the plates and cutlery and utensils and things that need to go in the dishwasher. And then any kind of food items that are left that need to go back in the fridge, I'll do those. So I'll kind of do them in order. And I just find that stops me from feeling overwhelmed because I feel like I've got somewhere to start. And I also feel like I'm making more progress by doing it that way. All of the organic waste, like the veg peelings and the bits I've chopped off, and things like that. Oh, and the eggshells actually can all go into my little compost bin. So that's very satisfying to have cleaned that out ready. The next job is to clean the sides and the tiles and the cabinet fronts. You know, when you just need to get absolutely everything out of the way to just give it a really good clean and then put it all back. To be honest, we could probably do with emptying the cupboards and decluttering and cleaning all of the insides. That's something I want to do soon. But again, it's going to have to be a job for another day because we've got enough on our plates today. I know that our kitchen looks quite dated, and it's one of the rooms that we haven't gotten around to doing anything. Actually, we haven't done anything at all in this room. Oh no, I lie. We used to have Artex ceilings in here. You know, the kind of textured, some people call it popcorn ceilings. We had those throughout the house, and I had most of them plastered over when we first moved in. And the kitchen was one of those rooms. So we have a nice smooth ceiling in there and it's been painted. But as for the rest of the room, we've done absolutely nothing. And I suspect it's a 1987 original. I suspect it's as old as the house, because it definitely has that kind of vibe, doesn't it? But I must say, it's kind of growing on me. I kind of like it. At this point, my quiches were ready, so I took them out of the oven, and here they are. I was going for a rustic look, and I think I nailed it. But yeah, I still would very much like to update the kitchen. It's not in the budget for the foreseeable future. And until then, like I said, it's kind of growing on me. I kind of like these tiles. What do you think? Am I just, I don't know, deluding myself? Or is there a certain charm in them? Also, the wooden cabinets, I almost painted these when we first moved in. My first instinct was to paint them. And I'm so, so glad that I didn't do that. What I would like to do is sand them back and get like a nicer stain on them because they are a little bit orange. It would be nice to get just a more kind of deep browny, maybe like oak or something stain, and then some brass handles. I think that would look really, really nice. But it's quite a good quality, you know, wooden kitchen. So yeah, I'm really glad I didn't paint it because there's no coming back from that, is there? The black granite worktop, on the other hand, is something I could really live without. I just feel like it makes the room kind of dark, and black it's just a bit of a difficult colour to work with, isn't it, in interiors, I think. I'm not sure what colour I would paint the walls that would go with the black. And also, it never, ever looks clean. It has its advantages because I think being granite, it is quite hard wearing. I mean, we constantly put like hot pans on there. It doesn't stain, which I guess is another advantage of it being black. But yeah, it shows up, it highlights even every speck, every crumb, every smudge or smear. And immediately after I've cleaned it, it will be perfect. And then I will turn around, look back, and it's just covered in stuff again. And I don't understand. I don't understand how that works. What would you do in this kitchen? Please let me know if you have any kind of budget ideas for what I could do. I don't mind things like painting. I maybe would have a go at sanding the cabinets myself and changing the handles and things. But what would I do about the tiles, or do I just vibe with the tiles? I think it's the combination of the tiles and the black that is making it look quite dated. But I can't really do anything about the black work surface because that's going to be really expensive to get that changed to something else. And I know there are kind of vinyls and even wood veneer stuff that you can kind of stick over, and they look really, really good. But we honestly use the kitchen so much. It needs to be able to cope with a lot of wear and tear, and I just don't think that that would last in our kitchen. But I am considering doing some kind of like low budget, just mini makeover, maybe painting, or maybe even just styling and just trying to bring it to life a little bit that way. So if you have any ideas for what I could do, that reminds me, actually, my friend said that I should just lean into the black, especially in like October and the autumn, Halloween time, and go with like a witchy vibe with like herbs everywhere, dried herbs hanging from the ceiling. And I can't lie, I actually love that idea. So maybe that needs to happen this autumn. But yeah, if you have any ideas for ways that I could kind of freshen up the space, but without doing a whole upheaval, major kind of renovation, then please do let me know. I kind of like a traditional style, timeless, I would say. But I don't think currently it's timeless. I think it is quite dated to the 1980s. So I'd like to make it feel a little bit kind of more classic and traditional. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. Or if you are excited by the idea of a witchy kitchen makeover this October, then let me know, because I will probably be up for that with very little encouragement. Just tidying up the sink area, and these glass bottles are my husband's because he has recently gotten into making kombucha. Have you heard of this before? I heard of it a little while ago, and it's basically fermented tea, which may sound absolutely disgusting, but it's really lovely, and it's becoming quite popular now. I think it's having a little moment, isn't it? So you probably have seen it in the shops, maybe. A lot of them are flavored, and you'll get like an elderflower flavored one or lemon, which are lovely. But my husband's been making it, and he just uses loose leaf tea, so usually oolong, which I think is the kind of standard tea for kombucha. Sometimes he tries different types of tea as well, black teas. I think he did a pu'er batch, but he's been getting into that, and no flavoring or anything, so you just really get the taste of the tea. Speaking of tea, I save all of our tea bags from the day, of which there are many, because this is another thing that can go in my compost bin and they will decompose and add to the compost. But yeah, the kombucha, how to describe it? It goes a little bit fizzy. We think it might be somewhat alcoholic, but we don't actually know. So that's a bit of fun. And the taste, it kind of reminds me of cider. Sometimes it comes out quite sweet, sometimes a little bit less sweet and a bit more tart, depending on how long you've left it. One batch tasted exactly like apple juice, and then yeah, some of them taste kind of a bit like cider, but a little bit different. It's really hard to explain, but I definitely recommend trying it, or maybe even have a go at making it yourself if you like the idea of it. Why not? We could honestly just drink it all day, every day. It's so nice. And it's a bit like sourdough, you know, how you have a sourdough starter. We have a kombucha starter called a SCOBY, and that's what I think it's a living organism as far as I understand, and that's what consumes the sugar and does the fermenting and creates the kombucha. So we have like a starter batch and then we keep making batches from that. So yeah, we've always got a batch on the go and we're always bottling it up and starting a new batch. It's been a really fun little summer project. I was really glad to have all of the sides and the window clean. That feels so much better. So I'm putting the things back on the windowsill, but as I mentioned with the kitchen, it's not even really styled in a way that was a conscious decision. It's the kind of just things that either accumulated there or I just put them there when we moved in and they're still there because I haven't really changed it. So yeah, subject to change. There's room for improvement in this kitchen. What I do really love about it is that it definitely has a very cozy feel and it feels warm and like a proper kind of country kitchen. It does feel that way. So yeah, I don't mean to sort of complain about it or anything. I know it's perfectly nice, but it would be nice to put a little bit of my own stamp on it as well. Here I'm just going over all of the lower cabinets, giving them a wipe. Again, I could have gone inside, but not today. Same with the ovens, I'm just giving them a surface clean on the outside. I probably do really need to give inside the ovens a really good clean, but again, not today. I was flagging by this point. It was, again, did I mention? It was a heatwave day. And I've been going for hours and hours, almost all day by this point. So yeah, I was definitely looking forward to being done, but I just wanted it all looking really nice and just feeling a little bit more fresh in here. And this is how it's looking so far. Very, very pleased with this end of the kitchen. But if we turn around, there is still work to do. You can see all of the clutter that's accumulated on the little side counter over there. I'm cleaning my pew. I love the pew. I have two pews and they both came from the village church, which is where my husband and I got married, and they were auctioning off the pews to local people. And it was an auction, so it was like a sealed bids and you had to put your best bid, which we did. And then I think there wasn't much demand or something, because in the end they said that we could have two pews for the price that we had bid for one. So that was great. So we've got one downstairs in our little porch / boot room, and we've got one up here in the kitchen, and I just think they're so lovely. I sound like a broken record because, again, the fridges need a really good clean inside. Actually, the inside of the one is not too bad. The other one definitely needs a really, really good clean, but not today. Not today. Do you know what? I remember I was so hot and delirious at this point in the day that I remember thinking, I'm going to put this bit on time lapse so that it just goes really quickly. And I don't mean quickly in the video, I mean in real life, as if the time lapse feature on my camera would speed up real life. If only it did. But I wasn't done yet, unfortunately, because we still had the utility room to go. Here's how it was looking, which is not great by any means, but it's not actually too bad for this room. This room gets used so much. It's our kind of most used entrance in and out of the house, and it just attracts a lot of clutter. So it definitely needs some attention. On the topic of feeling tired at this point, I think I've mentioned before that I really like to watch these kinds of videos when I'm doing the cleaning or doing like a chore, because it kind of feels like I'm not the only one doing it almost. But something I've definitely noticed is that the amount some people seem to manage to get done in a day is just quite baffling to me sometimes. Sometimes it's a video and it might be, quite a long video, but it's a whole house clean to this level. And this has taken me all day just to do the kitchen and the utility room. Well, the best part of the day. And it does kind of slow you down a little bit when you're vlogging. And it was a heat wave. Did I mention it was a heat wave, which probably slowed me down as well? But even so, I don't think I could do the whole house in one day. Could you? Or am I just a really slow cleaner? Are you like a speed cleaner? I would love to know. If I do any sort of updates, makeover in the kitchen, then I guess I would do the utility room as well, because it's all the same fixtures and style in here, as you can see. So let me know if you have any ideas for this little room. I do feel very lucky to have this room. It feels like quite a luxury to me, because nowhere where I've ever lived before in my life has ever had a separate utility room. So there's something quite fancy about it, I think. However, it does strike me as a bit of a paradox as well, this room, because it's the muckiest room in the house. Like I say, we're in and out all the time. It's kind of like our back door. So we're always in and out with the dogs and their muddy paws, and Rhombus is bringing in sticks and getting the floor wet and muddy and all sorts, and we're coming in with our muddy boots. So it's the muckiest room in the house, but it's also where you handle your fresh, clean clothes, because the washing machine is obviously in here and the tumble dryer. So you have to be really careful not to drop your fresh, clean white t-shirt directly onto like a muddy welly boot that's, that's underneath. So it does feel like the room has very different, in fact, extremely opposite purposes. And that's the only thing about it. I mean, it's a very functional room, but just two very opposite functions. One thing I do really love is this butler's sink in here. Love a butler's sink, and I kind of wish that we had one in the main kitchen as well. Right, moving on to this situation down here on the floor. Again, this is where we store all of our mucky boots, my scruffy outside trainers, welly boots, garden clogs, all of that. And they have to go somewhere, right? And our somewhere is down the side of the boiler, because it's not a huge room, this utility room. And I'm just not sure what else to... I mean, there's got to be a better solution than this, surely, because you'll see in a moment, I'll kind of put them neatly back into that little gap, and it never lasts, because you're digging around in there because you want to find a pair of shoes that are right at the bottom, and the welly boots are falling over, and it like that and it just becomes a real mess again really quickly. But again, we really don't have that much space in here, so please let me know. There's got to be a better solution, surely. Please let me know if you do have a better solution for how we could store those shoes and things in there. Anyway, let's do a proper vacuum. There's something satisfying, isn't there, about doing the vacuuming last, because you feel like all of the bits that have maybe come off the sides or anything like that, you feel like you've got them all. And meanwhile, I'd also done another wash. I think this was my cleaning cloths and things like that. That's ready. So let's go outside and hang those up on the line to dry. And my tea towels from earlier are dry already. That's definitely one benefit of the heat wave, isn't it? You can get your laundry out and dried within a few hours. So we can bring those in as well. That's very satisfying. Honestly, the more I do these and then watch myself back, the more I think, why am I doing certain things? Like, I'm watching myself now fold my tea towels and put them in 2 separate drawers, random drawers, that are both half tea towels and half something else, like placemats for the dining table or something. And it's purely because that's where we put it when we moved in 2.5 years ago. It was never a conscious, intentional decision. And then you just get used to it, and it's just still that way now. So it's really making me think we just need a huge declutter, get everything out of the cupboards and sort it all out, and then make better use of the cupboard space in a way that actually makes sense. Well, the utility room is looking so much better for now anyway. We'll see how long it lasts. But for now, I'm really pleased with it. We just need to finish the job. And then we can get to our treat at the end of it all. And I need it by now, let me tell you. So I thought I was finishing off with my flash speed mop here, but I'm not actually finished. There's still one job left to do. Have you remembered what it is? We'll do it at the very end. But for now, while the floor dries, it's time for our treat. So let's head outside. I absolutely love blue hydrangeas, and it was challenging, to be honest, to find some that weren't completely wilted from all the sun and the heat, but I managed to find some, and I think that was just the ticket to cheer up the kitchen and myself after a full day of cleaning. And did feel like a little treat at the end there, just to finish everything off. Here's Rhombus. I realised that we didn't have any doggy appearances in the video today. Couldn't let that happen. So here he is. He wanted to show you his stick. Now, while Rhombus is occupied with his stick, is the perfect time for me to show you the finished kitchen, looking spick and span, and the utility room, because as soon as he comes in, it won't look like this anymore. But still, I think we've done a really good job today. and all that's left to do is the very last job. Did you remember what it was? It was, of course, taking out the bins or taking the bins down to the end of the driveway. And this ended up being such a fun job because we got to use the quad bike. We wanted a quad bike for so long, and we just recently bit the bullet and bought one, and it makes jobs like this so much easier and really fun as well. And yes, I am riding side saddle using a bag of compost as a seat cushion. Thank you so much for cleaning with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.